I'm sharing my experience on what might be the most affordable cruise getaway from Singapore, the newly launched World Legacy Cruise. I managed to grab a Christmas Eve promo for 3 days and 2 nights at just $138, which includes all meals, 2 nights stay, entertainment, and ferry transfers. Here's how the trip went. I arrived at Harborfront Center about 2 hours before departure, as advised, to exchange my boarding pass at Horizon Ferry. The journey started with a ferry ride to Pulau Nerup, which took roughly an hour, before transferring to another ferry heading to the cruise. During the ride to Pulau Nerup, I could already see the cruise in the distance. And from here, you can even spot Singapore's skyline. This was my first time transiting at Pulau Nerup, and honestly, the place looked beautiful. It's somewhere I'd like to visit properly one day. The transfer process from ferry to ferry and then onto the cruise was surprisingly smooth. If you want less hassle, I'd recommend booking a Friday night departure or arrival slot where you can board and leave the cruise directly without making all the transfers in Singapore. Unless you're staying on board for a full week, which sounds a bit crazy to me, you'll still experience multiple ferry transfers anyway. After alighting from the transit ferry, I boarded the cruise through a side gate and went straight to the check-in counter. Passport submission is required as usual. For those curious about the casino, yes, it's located right after check-in, and I could already see many passengers enjoying the games. Since the room check-in queue was long, I headed to Deck 6 for a quick snack. All meals, including breakfast, lunch, and dinner, are served here buffet style. As for internet connectivity, don't bother relying on the onboard Wi-Fi. It's slow, especially with so many guests connected. I used my Indonesia roaming data instead, although it occasionally switched back to a Singapore network. Speed-wise, streaming YouTube wasn't really an option. I later found out that room check-in only started after 5:30 in the evening, so I spent the time touring the cruise. The ship has been newly renovated with multiple decks to explore. By this point, you'll probably know whether this type of cruise suits you. If nothing here impresses you, then this might not be the right experience for you. Because this is an early launch, I overheard quite a lot of complaints from other passengers, mostly about air conditioning issues. Some areas felt hot and uncomfortable, and a few people even wanted to reschedule or return early, saying the cruise was boring. I think expectations play a big role here. The advertising may have exaggerated the experience, which ended up disappointing first-time visitors. Personally, I came prepared. I understood that this is essentially a rebranded casino cruise with unlimited food, basic entertainment, and some gambling options. With that mindset, I was actually quite satisfied. At 5:30, I went to Deck 5 to check into my room. The entire process was smooth. The cabin itself is compact, similar to a sailor bunk, but it has everything shown in the video. The shower had strong hot water, plenty of essentials, and overall, it was a comfortable experience. At 6:30 in the evening, I headed for my first buffet dinner, and the restaurant was already crowded. I ended up queuing for about 20 minutes, watching other passengers eat. The food selection was a mix of Asian and Western dishes, along with fruits and unlimited drinks. It felt very Las Vegas style. I'll definitely arrive earlier for the next meal to avoid the long wait. After dinner, I visited Club 88 on Deck 7 and was surprised by how quiet it was. Most passengers were probably at the casino. There's also a viewing deck where you can enjoy Singapore's night view from the sea. The wind was cool, the atmosphere was relaxing, and it was one of the nicest moments of the night. There are also free scheduled performances, so it's worth checking the onboard announcements if you're interested. Overall, I found this trip enjoyable, despite some early launch issues. Hopefully, as time goes on, the crew and operations will become more refined and the experience will improve further. That's my Day 1 update from the World Legacy Cruise. Thanks for watching.